was a black and white day in Brunswick, and I wanted some color. People were out in the streets enjoying their days. The pedestrians were going around without getting run over. I needed some excitement, so I grabbed my hat and my hit flask and went down to visit my old buddy, Ed, in the mill. Ed's an artist, and I wanted to learn a few tricks of the trade.
When I was young, I think one of the good things was that my mom and dad, who weren't artists or anything, probably never went beyond grade school in their education, allowed me to do art, encouraged me, were enthusiastic about it in their own gentle way. And I think that was the big thing, that it was okay, it was acceptable. And I think then I did it more, you know. And then I had a little, quote, success, unquote, you know, like the sister in the grade school said, Eddie, would you do the bulletin board design for Christmas, you know, and stuff like that. And, you know, and you get a few things like that, and the strokes, and you, it keeps you going on. You know, and then, like when I was in school, I was, at one point, I was studying in the seminary, and I was studying philosophy this time. And I remember the head of the place said, Ed, you're not here, he called me, he said, Michelangelo, you're not here to paint, you're here to study philosophy. Sometimes even you do your work in spite of that. Yeah. And there's something, you know, don't get too comfortable, maybe, as in the arts. Not that you have to starve to be a good artist, but there's something about, there's a book, something like Stay Hungry was the term. There's something about that in the arts, you know. So here I am, hungry and poor, with my little studio. No, it's a great studio. I love it. Which means to repent, comes from the Italian word to repent. And basically it means that you put down stuff on your painting and then you paint over it, but you leave some of the original lines or textures or whatever images there. Close to that is what I'm doing here. I mean, I've done that in paintings before, but here you can see that I had red here, for instance, and I scraped other colors over it. And some of the red is still showing. I just left it that way. It's kind of happy accidents. Here you can see there's a lot of scratching and stuff in the background. And while the paint was still wet, I just took my fingers and dragged them through this like figure painting. And I wanted this flat, there was another texture going on here which I kind of like, which was this very flat silhouette forms of these leaves. I just like to juxtapose that with the other textures. So a multitude of textures, and it's a whole mixture of things. But it's, there are images in here, you can sort of see ghosts, like a figure here, and there's a figure here, and I just painted over them, and just kept painting and painting, and some of those are ghost images, which just sort of, you can catch a little glimpse of, and you're not sure if you're actually seeing the figure or not. Very impulsive, and there's a term that I really enjoy talking about, and it's called no mind. It's a kind of an Eastern term, it's like a Buddhist term, but it's to clear your mind as best you can, because you never clear it totally, because we're always getting monkey mind and stuff is coming in. But to stay loose, to stay open, and then just find stuff, you know, I mean, the stuff that's around, serendipitous stuff that's around your studio, or things that you're hearing, music. I have one piece I called The Dog Who Loved Palestrina with Sasha Signoris, and they had this Renaissance polyphonic music on it. It was beautiful. And she was looking, and I was like, she's listening to this stuff. So I called the painting The Dog Who Loves, and another one was Sasha's Dream. but I was just all this stuff flying around, fish and pipes, and I had a book on Indian, calumets, peace pipes. So I was throwing these pipes in and everything. And there was a picture of couples, kissing, and there was another picture of an Aztec god. I put him, it was just like this big jumble of stuff. And so if you look at it, you say, what is this? I don't know. It's stuff. So I think what I do when I paint is look around for stuff, listen for stuff, find stuff, and then put it in randomly. And, it's okay. Like, you look at something like this. I don't know where this is going, but I'm blocking out different areas. I like this color here. I like the earth tones. I don't know where this is going. This is a very abstract shape. I just lifted it in. I just took my fingers and rubbed here when there was paint on here. And I love these kind of leaves just floating in from nowhere. Like this little landscape. I don't intend it to be what the earth really looks like, but it's more like what it feels like to me. And it's scribbly and stuff, but it's impulsive and impetuous, and I think that's part of the work too. De Kooning said, I think it was de Kooning that said, that sometimes he used to paint backwards, paint like this, to get away from the mind taken over, and sometimes an artist will turn the work upside down and look at it, so you prescind from objective reality. You're interested in your reality, so and it's a fun world. It's permission. Georgia O'Keeffe said that she liked art because when she was a young girl, because it was her world. No one could tell her what to do. She went into that world, and that was a secret place for her, secret garden. This is what's missing a lot of our lives, is the sacred, the enchanted, the secret, the mystery. We've taken a lot of the mystery out of life. So I think one of the things about art, is the mystery. Like I'm doing this thing here with the cosmos floating around out there, or this thing with this little flower. I don't know if you can focus on that. There's a little dandelion, and I did this painting which I just gave to someone. It's a picture of the universe, this thing, and then down at the far corner, in the far right of the corner, is a little dandelion. But I think I'm trying to say it's all there. It's all singing. It's all sacred. So a lot of my stuff, I whisper because I'm afraid to say it sounds pretentious, but a lot of my stuff is spiritual, for want of a better word. I don't mean church spiritual. I mean universe and interconnectedness spiritual.
It had been a long day with Ed in the mill, and I decided it was time to split. I headed back out into the cold, windy streets of Brunswick, and still looking pretty gray, but then I thought about my buddy Ed, and it didn't seem so bad.